Hello and welcome to the top 3 time secrets of a serial mompreneur. If you're watching live or if you're watching on replay, thank you for joining me here and this special occasion to launch my far most perfect launch. And why do I say that it's a far most perfect launch was because that when I had this idea on creating this workshop, I was full of, all right, I know the IG stories, I know the masterclass like sequence, I have learned all this somewhere, I know how to IG live stream, let me put everything together so I can get the best results. But guess what? That the universe has completely a different plan for me. And through this entire experience, I have learned so much, as well as I thought it was a very good way for me to share with everybody out there how I actually launch a workshop in less than a day. Okay, I'm serious. This is my one and only workshop that I actually launched in a day. Chaotic things going around. I was sick for the first 3 days of this week. And then when I was recovered, my son fell sick. If you've been watching my stories, you know that your life as a mompreneur, as even an entrepreneur, much less a mompreneur or a serial mompreneur, is not easy. It's not every day roses where like everything is in perfect plan and you get to have that 8 to 5 p.m. all to yourself and nothing distracts you. No, it is far from the truth. And this is why I enjoy doing so much post about ideal versus reality, because a lot of people think that as a mompreneur or even a serial mompreneur, we have everything perfect. We have all our balls juggling all in the perfect rhythm. We have all our ducks lining, sitting in a perfect row. But that is far from the truth. And this is really one thing. In fact, it's one of the, I wouldn't even say time secrets. I would actually say time lessons. Because time efficiency was something that really troubled me when I started on this mompreneur journey. I mean, basically, if you're actually, whether you're watching me from networking, if I know you from networking, or whether you're watching me from insurance, if I know my insurance clients, or you're watching me as a coaching client, or if you actually see my following my coaching Instagram, I welcome you all into my universe where I talk so much about time efficiency and time productivity. And if anybody who actually thinks about time efficiency and time productivity, right? The first thing that they would think of is, all right, prioritizing. Write down your top 3 things that you want to do in a day. Yes, all those things are what the books really tell you. But I have discovered in my journey, okay, on how to manage 3 businesses. I not just have one insurance coaching business where it's doing really well. I've been there for 8 years, and this year I actually decided to refocus back into my insurance business once again. I actually built my coaching business purely online, and I'm really excited, to still keep up and continue with launching workshops or launching sales campaigns, just so that more people can know about time efficiency. And of course, I actually also got myself involved in a networking business starting from the end of last year, which is really what I wanted, to get myself surrounded by serious business entrepreneurs. They can be entrepreneurs who have been in the business for maybe 1 year, 2 year, or even 10 years, 20 years. But hey, this is in fact a lifelong journey. Entrepreneurship is a lifelong journey. So if anybody who is in entrepreneurship, you want to get started, please, you can feel free to reach out to me, because I have so much to share, and I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship because I am very passionate about lifelong learning. And when we actually go on a journey of entrepreneurship, we go to the depths of our fear and we go into the highs of our successes. Of course, you have days where you actually have a $10,000 deal that feels amazing. But of course, you have days where your bank account is also barely surviving, right? How do you deal with that? Do you deal with that feeling very triggered? Or do you deal with that in the most zen, in the most peaceful, in the most detached way? Because you know and you trust yourself that you can make the money so easily, right? And this was one big lesson that I also learned for myself as well. So enough of introducing about myself. I talk a lot about 48 hours no weekend, 3-day work week. Some of my milestones include launching previously, before launching less than a day, 16-hour launch, 72-hour no work weekend, because I really, really love to bask in family love. I'm very privileged to have really beautiful niece and nephews, okay, and I really love to actually spend my weekends with them, with my family. So I always put on a priority that the weekends are purely for family. 48 hours no weekend, 3-day work week. And in fact, one of my milestones that I had was actually locking in 100K in 14 months for 2 of my businesses, while all having 48 hours no weekend and 3-day work week. So at the end of the day, what I really love to advocate for more people is to work less. All right, work less, not work hard. And this is actually goes against the norm in society that talks so much about we have to work more, we have to be present more, you need to show up more. Okay, I also hear a lot of it in my networking in my networking community. You have to show up, you have to show up more so that people remember you. But showing up more does not guarantee you that attractiveness. It doesn't guarantee you that magnetism, that people will come and speak to you. But it's how you show up that determines. So if you're going to show up, of course it's a balance, right? We cannot be too extreme where we totally don't attend at all and we expect people to remember us, but we do our fair share of attending. All right, but whenever we show up in the most exciting, in the most high vibe energy and the most attractive energy that people will be so invited to talk to you. You don't even have to speak to people, right? How is that compared to attending 10 times, but you're sitting there, you're trying to force your way into conversations, versus you attending 5 times because the other 5 times you are away in your other businesses. But in those 5 times where you turn up, you show up in the most high vibe and the most magnetic way, right? Which one actually gives you more results, right? So needless to say, you have to answer for yourself. So at the end of the day, I would love for more people, and that's why I talk a lot about it on my Instagram, is to work less, right? Why do we want to be more time efficient? It's because we want to spend more time with our family. We want to have downtime as well, right? And and also to always buffer. Especially if you're a mom, if you're a parent yourself, you would know how chaotic it can be whenever your kids fall sick, whenever there's emergencies and things crop up like that. And then, so whenever you're time efficient, you actually lock in buffer time so that you can have life interrupting you and you don't feel triggered. This was actually one of the biggest things that I have actually completely overhauled from my day of just only having insurance business. I was taking care, but of course, I would have to say that I was a much less experienced mom, much less seasoned, much less matured, of course, so more anxious as well. But I would also say that a lot, as compared to today, right now I'm running 3 businesses. My son is a lot more older, independent. My relationship, I know how to ask for the support that I desire. Of course, that all plays a part, but at the end of the day, it is so that whenever you get to speed up your conversion, you get to speed up how you make money, okay, instead of stop trading in time for money and start I haven't thought of something exciting, but stop trading in time for money. Stop sitting there thinking that when you log in 8 hours, you're going to be time productive. No, it's not. It's far from the truth. How is that as compared to having 3 hours of optimal productivity and then for the rest of the day, you can go and rest? This was what I experienced for the first 3 days of this week when I was completely sick. I was so sick, I could only be in front of my computer for only about 2 to 3 hours. And then I had to take the whole afternoon off. Like I need to go and sleep. I would either need to be sleeping or like I just watch TV. Like my brain actually cannot process anything complex or anything serious like strategies or campaigns or things like that because I was not feeling well at all. So that actually happened on Monday. And on Tuesday, I showed up for my networking event, of course, in the most high vibe. And then in the afternoon, I had to take off. And then, of course, Wednesday was a morning for my son because I was having a farewell party for him. So this is really what I love when we're actually time efficient. Oh, yes, by the way, tonight I'm actually going to go for an insurance sales appointment where I'm going to sign policies. Monday, I also have a client who is waiting to sign a policy with me. So this is the reason why time efficiency really is something that a lot of people don't talk about. People talk about it in books, productivity hacks, prioritizing. Yes, that's level 1. But the next level where you get to go up to is where you get to know how to harness your energy. You get to clear out your emotions. You get to get a very crystal clear mindset so that everything passes through you like water and at lightning speed. And this is what I have been experiencing ever since that I have been on this journey to really change my mindset, to really take on a different identity towards time. And I realized that I completely produce different results, such as example, where in the past when I was in insurance, I would be making phone calls, and I can call up to 30 people, and none of them would actually be like a confirmed sales appointment where I sign. But right now, that is my expectations, and I expect nothing less than that. I expect that when my clients, and of course, I do my fair share for a lot of content sharing and a lot of education in terms of videos. But when I meet them, they know that I'm serious business. They know that I am a mompreneur who actually, when I get the time to sit down with them, we better get things done. It is not a hee hee ha ha moment where after that you can go and think about it, because you should have all your considerations, everything done before we have our discussion today. And that is really the kind of energy that I bring back into my insurance business. So I may be making the same money, or I may be, I don't even think I'm making less. Actually, I'm making a lot more. I may be making more money, but easily at 30 to 40% less the effort hour. I would give it like 50% less the effort. And this is the reason why with that 50% block, I can take time off. I can buffer for sun sickness. All right. And I actually have an intention this year to be even more present in my home, to be even more present, having homemade dinners, having homemade wholesome breakfast for my son as well. I'm also going to fully take over the child caring duties in terms of child pick up and drop off, because we are changing my son's childcare as well to downstairs. So I'm going to be even more present at home. And if I'm going to be even more present at home, that means what? That means when I am working in my business, it got to be very result oriented. It got to be boom, I go in, I get in the money. Okay, boom, I go in, somebody meets me, and I get to jump to the result directly, instead of people going through funnels and funnels and funnels. No, I don't want that. So that is why when you actually see all of my, and I think it actually speaks a lot, it's mirrored in all of my content as well, that I'm not going, and I'm actually not concerned about how many people are watching me, because I know that whatever that I do is accumulative effort. The same as insurance. When people buy from you, okay, if anybody of you is in business or in sales, you would know that if anybody who comes in to buy from you, it is because of your energy. It's also because of cumulative effort. So it doesn't mean that it's a one-time off campaign and they decide to buy, it means that your campaign failed. No, it's because from that campaign, they are watching you in the next campaign, they're watching you in the next campaign, all the way until you show up in your best way, and boom, there comes the light moment where they decide to buy. And when they buy in the best energy as well. So when we actually get into this life of time efficient, of time productivity, of dropping away, exchanging time for money, you get to buffer from time for life interruptions. You get to allow yourself to be sick, okay? Because guess what? When you're on high energy, there will be times where you fall sick as well. You are a human being. You stop being frustrated with yourself for falling sick. You also allow yourself to go shopping. Yay! When you decide to take time off to go and celebrate with your family, you get to enjoy vacations fully, because you know that if you enjoy yourself, the next time when you come in your business, you're going to be fully charged as well. And isn't that beautiful? Right? Isn't this is really what life is all about? To not just work, it's not just to have money, not just to have fulfillment, but to have love, to have enjoyment, to have freedom in time, freedom in a family life as well. And this is what I really love about my lifestyle, that I get to be such a present mom in the best way that I can be for my son. And I also get to be a kick-ass serial mompreneur who's making shitloads of money, or like, in an instant where I can make $1,000 over a 10-minute phone call, or even I can actually close a 5.7K policy over a 1-hour Zoom call as well. Right? So the then versus now, let's dive into my top 3 time lessons for everybody. And it's going to apply to you, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a businesswoman or not, or whether you're a businessman, or whether in fact you have a kid or not. Number 1 key lesson: let go of the perfectionist syndrome. Okay, I repeat, let go of the perfectionist syndrome. And perfectionist syndrome comes in the form of what? Perfectionist syndrome comes in the form of the very sneaky way that I am putting in my best. I am being the best worker that I can be. I never fall short of my standards. That is a very sneaky way of beautiful packaging. On the outside, it looks good. It looks like, yes, you really want to have the best results, but within it lies a lot of fear, lies a lot of control, lies a lot of fear of not having what you want, lies a lot of judgment, also lies a lot of criticism. And this is really one thing that I uncovered not just this week, but if you actually watch one of my posts, I talk about A Little Miss Perfect. End of the year, last year, I actually had a pretty big realization where it hit me pretty hard when my son was actually diagnosed with some mild eye issues. And I wasn't sure why, but I actually was grieving so much about it. But I realized the reason why I was grieving so hard about it was because I had this ideal perfectionist way of how he should be like, because the thing is that I also have perfect eyesight, so I kind of expect him to have perfect eyesight as well. So even as parents, we actually unknowingly and subconsciously transfer these kind of thoughts to them. And when we actually go on the healing journey, we get an opportunity to examine, to actually undo all of these as well. And I think that actually what makes us a better and a more wholesome person to parent our child. And when I actually discovered, oh wow, it's actually my Miss Perfect actually playing up. She actually wanted, I was actually having a lot of fear. Like, I was like, even having ridiculous thoughts, like, what if he did not have perfect eyesight? Would he be picked on by friends? Or, why is he not perfect eyesight like me? I was even having all those critical thoughts. And that was one way when I actually encountered Little Miss Perfect. And I think this week I encountered as well, but it was much better because I'm a lot more aware of my perfectionist syndrome. And so I took it upon myself that the universe actually wanted me to let go of the perfectionist syndrome, right? So that's why, even though I had this grand plan about how to actually launch my workshop, my campaign, I don't even have slides today. Normally, I would actually have like a beautiful set of slides, and we actually go through, if you have been watching all of my previous masterclasses. And and today's also not the most perfect day because my son was actually having 40 degrees kind of fever. He was actually sleeping for the past 3 hours. So letting go of the perfectionist syndrome also means letting go of the standards, also letting go control. And that's when in my coaching experience, this is what I always tell my clients: you let the universe take over. You let the universe create the magic. And I think this week was actually a big lesson because for several days, I actually felt sick. But actually, I kept having the thought of having a perfect launch in my head. Like, I knew that I want to have like perfect IG stories, slides, masterclass sequence, and so on, because I was being taught like the whole perfect sequence before. And I have actually done it quite a couple of times that I know at the back of my hand. So I was like, oh wow, I shall do it again. But guess what? The universe doesn't want it for you. The universe wants you to experience how is it like to let go of perfectionist syndrome. So that's why repeatedly I had like low energy. I kept falling. My sickness actually took me on for at least about 3 days. And on the day that I got well, my son fell sick. Right, what are the odds of it happening? Like, I literally actually sent him to school and he actually got rejected, so I had to take him back. And I actually had the perfect plan in my head, like, oh, I'm going to be having some kick-ass content, coaching content. In the afternoon, I'm going to head out, blah, blah, blah. And all of these actually went out the window. So the moment that we actually let go of the perfectionist syndrome, things like saying, I'm not good enough, I should have done this better, I could have done this better. When you actually let go of the perfectionist syndrome and all these, in fact, it will actually lead on to my next next time lesson, which is about clearing out negative energy, clearing out low-lying emotions around yourself and time, I realized that the moment that we let go is also the beginning where we get to trust ourselves. Because perfectionist actually stops you, it actually hinders you. It keeps telling you that I need to do more, I need to work more, I need to do more because I need to get these results. So it becomes a lot of like trading in more effort so that you can guarantee the result. But how would it be like if, let's say, the results is never in your hands? Because the results of someone buying is also when the person has decided. The result of somebody coming into your energy also comes from the person's timing, right? And that is completely out of your control. When we decide to actually let go of perfectionist syndrome, it's the beginning of us beginning to trust ourselves and the universe. So this is really one thing, because the moment that I realized, when I actually started to let go of perfectionist syndrome, the trust in myself, the confidence that grew from internally started to shoot up really quickly. And I stopped pegging myself to external achievements. Like the world is in such a way that you have to actually get this award to feel good. You have to actually get this sale to feel good. You have to get this result, KPIs, in order to mean that you are doing well. And when we actually let go of these kind of standards, the self-confidence actually comes from internally. The trusting in your capabilities also comes from internally as well. And when that actually happens, you have such strong and protected energy that no matter how chaotic the situation is, like this week was a week full of chaos, but it never gets to you. And this is actually what I felt was a huge contrast as compared to when I was actually only having my insurance business. And of course, back then I was also a younger mom, less experienced. But I think the trust in myself was missing greatly in my old version. So again, it's because of the perfectionist syndrome. All right. Second thing, time lesson also would be to actually purge out all the negative and low-lying emotions that you have around time. So low-lying emotions are anything that what I call basement emotions. There are things such as powerlessness, regret, revenge, guilt, regret, sadness, anger, self-criticism, boredom. So anything that is actually negative energy actually weighs you down. And that is why when anybody who actually, for example, I've experienced that whenever I actually made phone calls to my insurance clients, whenever I call them in like, okay, I have to get this done, I have to sit here and I have to complete the call no matter what, even though when I'm feeling like I dread it, even though I'm feeling like I'm time pressed, even though I'm feeling urgent for the next sale, I realize that it doesn't convert to an actual appointment, or even so, if not, the appointment will be very flaky, like they will cancel. But I realized that even like right now, after I've actually purged out all of my low-lying emotions, so in my coaching program, I also work with my clients one-on-one to actually identify all of the negative thoughts that they have for themselves towards time as well. Like I need to have more time. I don't think I can do this. Like I should have done better. My business needs to be better. Like all of these very self-critical statements that you have in your head that keeps playing up like a radio will keep sabotaging you again and again. It's like putting sandbags to your legs. And no matter what kind of great actions that you take, it will always be hindered by these kind of negative energy, these kind of negative thoughts. And that's why you're not able to have the results, the time efficient results that you want. This in contrast into the way I function right now, where my emotions are very clear. And if I actually I don't really have those thoughts anymore, because I have completely like purge that out of my system. But if I do have any like low-lying emotions, I will not force myself to sit in front of a computer. In fact, I'll do what it takes to actually release all the emotions, release any form of guilt. Like especially a lot, I had a lot of guilt previously when I was taking care of my baby and I was working at the same time. So like when I put my baby down for a nap, I would actually be working, and then when he wakes up, I will actually be tending to him. So that literally leads me feeling very, very exhausted and also unproductive at the end of the day. And I ended up being at a point where when I'm taking care of him, I feel guilty for not doing my work. And when I'm doing my work, I feel guilty for not taking care of him. This is a huge contrast to right now, where if I go and rest, I rest without guilt. If I go and work, I work without guilt. Like today, when actually my husband, who is actually being very kind. So one thing that I never exclude from my success is my husband's support. And I want to tell every woman out there that if you have a partner or if you have your husband, it is not enough to just have non-husband support. Non-husband support in the form of like, it can be a mom, it can be a mother-in-law, it can be an external helper, or it can be a nanny. Nothing beats having your own husband because he's in the same boat with you. And I have actually resolve, and we have actually improved our communication so much, because the fact is that when I'm on this journey on personal development, he's taken on a journey to personal develop himself as well. Because when he sees me the way I upgrade myself, he also upgrades his thinking, and we upgrade together. And that's what I really love about personal development. That's very wholesome, and you actually upgrade not just in terms of your business, not just your money, but also in your relationship as well. So when I was sharing with him, like today, it's gonna be a pretty busy day for me, even though my son has like a 40-degree kind of fever. But I told my husband, like tomorrow, for example, he's very excited. He wants to go he really loves car, and tomorrow there is actually a car exhibition going on in town. And I told him, like, honestly, like tomorrow I'm going to be dedicated to taking care of my son. You want to be there, you want to hang out with your community till late, it doesn't matter to me. Tomorrow's your turn, and today is my turn. I'm having my workshop, I'm having coaching sessions as well, and tonight I'm going to assign insurance policies. And he was like, yeah, like just go for it. And this is really what happens when you actually have beautiful relationships supporting you. But of course, this was not what it was like when we started off. If you actually if I ever get a chance to actually do a clarity call with you, I would say that fixing or solving or getting my husband's support, emotional, physical, financial, everything all in, was actually one of the biggest life-changing moments for me. So clear out negative and low-lying emotions also means that you actually clear out your energy, so that whenever you do your work, it becomes very fast, it becomes like lightning. And that's what I actually wrote in one of my posts, how I actually doubled my time efficiency, was because I actually cleared out all the guilt, resentment, rage, including towards myself, okay, anger, sadness, regret, whatever. That right now, whenever I do something, whenever I go and sleep, I'm so dedicated to sleeping. Whenever I'm like, right now I'm doing my workshop, right now he's outside taking care, and I know some people, especially some women, they feel guilty and all that. I have no tinge of guilt because my emotions are very clear. It's so straightforward. It's like a glass of water. It's like this. Okay, there's no particles inside, and if it has all those like a low-lying emotions, that is when it will drag you down. That's when you're doing one thing but you're sabotaging yourself in terms of the emotion, in terms of the guilt that would actually pull and weigh you down in terms of getting the results that you want. All right, so that is actually clearing out low-lying emotions. And one of the best kind of releases that I used was actually breathwork. Breathwork was actually recommended to me by my coach, and since I actually started on the journey 1.5 years ago, okay, of course, for 2 years, I have been doing breathwork almost daily. It's one of my go-to support tools, and I wouldn't be here today if it's not for releasing all the emotions. Because when we actually have negative or stuck or suppressed emotions in our body, it actually manifests in the form of illnesses, physical pain, or it actually comes out one way or another when we start throwing our temper at our loved ones, and that actually ruins the relationship with them. Right? Why would we want to do that? So breathwork is a very great way in terms of healthy processing, in terms of looking inwards into and investigating in yourself, why are you feeling this way? After I actually got to release a lot of my low-lying emotions, especially I had a lot of rage, a lot of resentment. I'm a very high energetic person. Like if people meet me, I have very strong energy, but strong energy also high vibes, happy, excited, also mean it can manifest in the form of rage as well. So I won't deny that I used to be easily triggered. I also won't deny that I used to flare up very easily, and I actually have very strong language. But right now I have fixed all of that, and I'm very happy because I am surrounded by beautiful people. I have so much gratitude. I have so much appreciation for every little thing in my life. Okay, so that is one of the second lesson. And the third lesson, okay, would be the number one tool that I keep talking about it time and time again. It is having mental clarity and focus. And for all those who have been on my Instagram, I've been talking about it from day one. Meditation. My 30 minutes meditation tool that I've been doing for the past 2 years has also completely changed my life. That right now, I can actually handle chaos so easily. I can be so zen, I can be so peaceful, and it's not because I'm feeling good in the moment and then I'll be triggered another. No, it's really like, even if somebody says something triggering to me, I actually don't feel angry, right? And I actually don't feel that I have to react. And this is really what the meditation that I have done. Every day I actually wake up at about 5:30 or 6 o'clock to actually meditate, to actually visualize how would I love to show up in. Actually use it as a chance to actually play up gratitude, to play up appreciation. And this is actually one of the things that I actually have in my bundles, a Power Time bundle, where it's a 14-day gratitude journal technique. I guide you straight from the very beginning about how to set up a meditation routine, because I have actually gone through the journey where I actually had it and then I dropped it and I had it, and so I actually went through a lot of refining experience in order to right now, even after 1.5 years, I still stick by it. And without meditation, I wouldn't have mental clarity, I wouldn't have focus. Okay, imagine if that day, like what I said, after 3 days of being sick, I wake up, I do my meditation, I was crystal clear about my workshop, about the messaging, about what to write about. And then the whole morning and the whole day actually went to taking my son back from school, bringing him to the polyclinic, to see the doctor and so on. But the moment that I get the chance to sit in front of a computer, I get to actually produce content easily for 4 or 5 posts. And that in the past used to actually take me about close to 3 hours. But because of the fact that I have that mental clarity first thing in the morning, 30 minutes, first thing in the morning, and then in the end, it becomes so fast for me to actually produce it in real life. So this mental clarity is one thing that I say, because when you actually have great clarity, but you have it in a shorter amount of time, if you think about it in terms of physics, it's actually a water pressure, right? You're actually having a shorter amount of time to actually produce the result. And when you actually have great clarity, that's when you actually produce big results as well. And that is also like what I said, I double my time efficiency. That is the reason why I actually can close a $1,000 policy sale over a 10-minute phone call, and also open, pitch, and close a 5.7K insurance policy in 1 hour Zoom call. I don't even have to meet him face to face, whereas in the past I would actually sit there for 2 hours and they had to go back and think about it. I have to meet them another time and so on, and it'd be so time consuming. Whereas right now they just like, when you actually show up in the most strongest and the most time efficient, and you value your time, people will value your time as well. All right, so mental clarity and focus through meditation, my 14-day gratitude journal, and later on I will actually share about a bonus that I would love to have for whoever that is watching my video. Right, and at the end of the day, what the kind of results that we want to create is, okay, so I can write it down. I don't even have perfect slides, right? Because I only have 15 minutes to get this done. Results, number one, you actually don't have to be everywhere. Okay, and that's the truth. As a CEO mom, even as a CEO woman, right, or even just a CEO guy, whether you're family or not, the truth is that you want to be present in every meeting, but you can't. You have to pick and choose. Okay, and the fact is that when you actually don't have to be everywhere, you actually get to harness energy so that you can save it up for yourself. You get to allow yourself to fall sick. You get to allow yourself to have that health upgrade when you need to. Okay, and the most important thing that I would love to say is never expect to have all the balls spinning at the same time. If people were to ask me what is the biggest technique that you have for the success that you have today, is that I never expect myself to have everything spinning perfectly, perfect rhythm, perfect speed at the same time. For example, if I know this week is actually for me to focus on my coaching business, for me to launch a workshop alongside with being sick for 3 days and my son falling sick, and if I can actually launch a coaching workshop, I'll be so goddamn proud of myself, and that's it. Okay, I don't kind of guilt trip myself in, oh, I should have closed more insurance sales, I should have actually invited more people to my networking event and so on. I know that there comes different timing comes for you to play up different season. So this week I know that and again I go back to why I have such great clarity is because of my morning meditation. I know that this week the business for me to focus on was coaching, and last week the business was to focus on was my networking. and the week before was insurance. So I know different business take on different timing, and be okay. The fact is that be okay, and then with, okay, not frustrated, not regretful, not guilty, not angry at yourself, not raging at yourself, not killing yourself, or not criticizing yourself, okay, for not being there. And this is what happens, like when this is why a lot of moms struggle with mom guilt, just even when they have just one full-time job and a kid at home, or their kids, they feel guilty for leaving their kids at home when they're at work. And when they are at work, when they're at home, they feel guilty for not working. So the thing is that if anybody wants to be successful, to have it all in this lifestyle, to be time productive, is that be okay with not having all the balls spinning, perfect speed, perfect rhythm. Because there comes a time to play out different seasons. But one thing that I know for sure, that if you fully trust in yourself and you are connected to the universe, you do your meditation, you get that messaging, you know when to do what, that when the time comes for you to focus on your insurance business, boom, you know who are the people to call, boom, 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 you make that money in a week. And this was what I experienced in the last 2 weeks of December, when I was actually focusing mainly on my coaching business. I realized that I think there came a time where I knew that I had to focus on my insurance business. I think it was the last 2 weeks of December, because it was the closing end of the year. And I had some sales targets to meet. So I told myself that, all right, let's do it. Okay. In less than 48 hours, I actually cleared my sales target. Whereas in the past, it would probably take me, like, a lot of my managers and my leaders, they were pretty worried. They were like, hey, you should be up here. You know, you have 1 more month to go. You have another 6 more weeks to go. Now I was like, don't worry about it, man. I know the timing will call me at the right time. And true enough, when I actually called my prospects, they told me that, hey, actually I wanted to meet you. Hey, I actually was speaking to this guy somewhere in March, but he never got a follow-up with me. Would you like to share with me about your critical illness plan? Right? And he was the guy who actually signed about 5.7K, which was actually so easy as compared to any policy that I have sold. Okay, I actually sold a lot more than that previously, but it took me a lot of effort. So right now, I factor in a lot of the effort into whatever sales that I do, whatever kind of results that I make, because I want to actually get the best ROI in the form of the least effort for the best result. So maybe like in the past, I could have made like maybe $10,000, but $10,000 in the past will require me a lot of hard work, will require me a lot of sacrifice, will require me a lot of worries and frustration. And right now, if I get to close like a $10,000 sale in total, and to do it with such ease, to actually just show up as being myself, and then my client actually says that, hey, I really love your new direction, your coaching, I would love to re-sign with you for another 6 months, boom, that's what I want. Okay, no persuasion and no convincing needed. So this is really what the kind of results that you have if you get to learn how to be time efficient, time productive, and to really believe, trust in yourself, trust in the universe, that there comes a perfect time for you to have the results. Okay? And it's not in your control. Your only job is to receive the message. Your only job is, if you to release all that negative emotions so that you be crystal clear. Your only job is to let go of the perfectionist syndrome so that you can let go of the control. And that's when you begin to trust yourself more. And then that's when things will speed up. So this is really one very exciting training. I would love for any of you to be watching this. And if you happen to watch this, I'm going to actually put this up on YouTube. I haven't thought about it, but I think I'm going to put it up for free for only a limited period of time, and afterwards it's going to be paid. But if you're watching this and you happen to catch this particular segment because you watched towards the end of it, I'm having a special bonus for whoever wants to get started on my 14-day Power Time Bundle. Go onto my Instagram and check out about my Power Time Bundle. I talk a lot about having mental clarity. I'm going to give it to you at a very, very affordable price. All you need to do is just DM me, say that you actually caught this particular segment. Hey, I watched your time secret. I want to know about the Power Time Bundle. Okay, drop me a DM directly. and I'll be more than happy to actually give you the bundle at a very, very, very special rate, so you can kickstart, get mental clarity, focus on your journey for a very time efficient life. So this is my top 3 time secrets for serial mompreneur. Thank you if you're coming in from networking, you're coming in from insurance, you're coming in from coaching, you're coming from Instagram. I really love to have you here, and I'll see you the next time. All right.